Hi, 7th graders. This is your last TMC for the year. I know you're all upset about it, so dry your tears and here we go. You have to start with 18 squared, which if you have your handy dandy song memorized, it's 324 plus 361 minus 400. And why is it minus? Because I know you want to think that this is a negative 20 squared, and a negative 20 times negative 20 would be a positive 400, but the negative is not in parentheses. If it were in parentheses, then it would be positive. So now you're going to add these like terms here. So I get 685, and I'm going to put the minus 400 underneath it. And so I get 285. For number 2, you're going to subtract 32 from both sides. And you have negative 4x is greater than, and 4 minus 2, and that is 12. If I divide both sides by negative 4, I'm going to have x. And remember, since I'm dividing by negative, I'm going to reverse my inequality. X is less than 3. And it should be a negative 3. So now when I put my number line together here, this is an open circle on negative 3 because it does not include negative 3 as part of the answer. And x is everything smaller or less than. So the solution set is everything less than negative 3. For this, putting it into slope-intercept form and then identifying the m and the b, okay, you have to isolate the y term. So I'm going to subtract 18x from both sides. I now have negative 6y equals negative 18x minus 12. Divide each term by negative 6, so that now I have negative 6, well, I'll go ahead and write the equation. Y equals negative 6 into negative 18 is positive 3x, and negative 6 into negative 12 is positive 2. So my slope, which is the coefficient of x, is 3, and my b, my y-intercept, is 2. For this next one, I'm going to keep switch flip, so 5 twelfths. I'm going to change the division into multiplication, and I'm going to take the reciprocal of the divisor. Now I'm going to cross cancel common factors. 5 goes into both 5 and 15, and 4 goes into both 12 and 16. I'm going to multiply 1 times 4 and 3 times 3, so your answer is 4/9. For this next one, any power of 10, just count the zeros. So I'm going to move the decimal over 2 places here, so I end up with 3/10. I'm going to move it over just 1 place here, so I'm going to end up with 3/100. And anything times 1 is itself. For number 6, you can see that since the radius is a multiple of 7, you're going to use 22/7 for pi. So you end up with 4 times 22/7. Here's your formula, 4 pi r squared. 4 times 22/7 times 7 times 7, which is 7 squared. I'm going to cancel out one of the 7s, so I'm left with 4 times 22 times 7, which is basically 88 times 7. 7 times 8 is 56. 8 times 7 is 56, plus 5 is 61. So the surface area of this sphere is 616 square inches. What percent is 14 of 25? I would set up a proportion. Why? Because 25 is a factor of 100. So since I know 25 times 4 is 100, just do 14 times 4 to solve for x. 14 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 1 plus 1 is 5. So x is 56%. And they're asking for a percent. To convert 8/9 into a decimal, you're going to divide up. 9 goes into 8, 0 times. Add a decimal, tack on a few zeros. 9 goes into 80, 8 times. And that's 72, so you have a remainder of 8. So you can see that this is going to keep repeating as you see that. For this next one, you can see you have same sign, so you're actually going to add, and your answer is going to be negative. So let's go ahead and put that right there. You also see that you have unlike denominators, so you're going to have to find a common denominator. You can either list the multiples, or you can use the ladder method. That's what I like to use because it's short and sweet. What goes into both 6 and 8 is 2. 2 goes into 6 3 times, and 2 goes into 8 4 times. Multiply around. 2 times 3 is 6, times 4 is 24. So your common denominator is 24. Now you just have to use equivalent fractions. 6 times 4 is 24, so 1 times 4 is 4 24ths. 8 times 3 is 24, so 5 times 3 is 15. Now because the signs are the same, you're going to end up adding. So you're going to have 19 24ths. And 5 plus 4 is 9. So your answer is negative 9 and 19 24ths. For these two, when you have same signs, you're going to end up with a positive answer. When you have opposite signs, you're going to end up with a negative answer. So this is negative 24, and this is positive 6. For these, you can keep, change, or just remember whenever you have two negatives right next to each other, the sign of the number is positive. So 5 plus 4 is 9. Here you can see you have a negative 16 and a negative 8, so your answers could be negative 8, and you just add. Or you can keep, change. So keep the root first, change the sign, and change it here. Either way, you're adding negatives, and your answer is negative 24. That's it for your final TMC of the year, and I will see you in the fall.